I was looking at my bank statement yesterday, and it was just painful. It's the death by a thousand cuts scenario. $10 here for music, $20 there for image editing, another 30 for some AI writing tool. It feels like the modern creative economy is just renting your own skills back to yourself on a monthly basis.
It's subscription fatigue. It's absolutely real. We've moved from owning software to just indefinitely borrowing it. And specifically in the world of AI art and design, that burn rate is high. You stop paying, you lose access to your history, your tools, everything.
Exactly. And that's why what we're discussing today actually stopped me in my tracks. We're looking at Artistly. And the first thing that jumped out at me wasn't even the tech specs. It was the business model. They're talking about a one-time payment, unlimited access, no monthly drip feed.
It sounds almost archaic, doesn't it? Like buying a CD in the 90s. But that's the disruption right there. Artistly is positioning itself as this massive, all-encompassing suite: image generation, design, editing, publishing. But they are breaking that subscription chain. And for anyone running a small business or a side hustle or just trying to manage a brand, that financial difference is massive. But we have to be careful.
Right? Because usually one-time payment in the software world is code for abandonware or subpar features. You get what you pay for. So is this just a bargain bin wrapper, or is the engine actually running?
That was my skepticism going in. But when you peel back the layers of Artistly, the feature set is, honestly, it's overwhelming in a good way. It's not just type a prompt, get a picture. They seem to be solving the specific pain points that the big subscription giants are still struggling with.
Like what? Because I've used the big ones. I know the struggles. Hands looking like spaghetti. Text that looks like alien hieroglyphics.
Text is the big one. That is the holy grail right now. Artistly has a feature explicitly called AI Designs with Perfect Text. You know how usually, if you ask an AI to generate a logo for a coffee shop that says Morning Brew, you get Morning Bordeaux written in a weird melted font?
Every single time. It's unusable for commercial work.
Right. Artistly claims to have cracked that. You can generate logos, t-shirt designs, and marketing materials where the text is actually legible and correct. That alone shifts it from a toy to a tool. If you're doing print on demand or running an Etsy shop, that feature is the difference between a sale and a refund request.
That is huge. But let's go deeper. I was reading through their documentation, and there's a heavy emphasis on storytelling. Not just, here's a picture of a dragon, but actual narrative consistency.
This is my favorite part of their suite. They have this consistent character technology. This is the biggest hurdle for authors and comic book creators using AI. Usually, you generate a character in one scene, and they look great. You generate them in the next scene, and suddenly their nose is different, their hair color shifted, or they're wearing a completely different outfit.
It breaks the immersion. You can't tell a story if the protagonist shapeshifts every 3 pages.
Exactly. Artistly allows you to lock that character in. You can change the setting, change the pose, change the emotion, but the character remains the same identity. And they've built an entire ecosystem around this for book creators. We're talking about a script to storybook pipeline.
Walk me through that, because that sounds like it replaces an entire publishing team.
It essentially does. Imagine this workflow. You have a script. You feed it into Artistly. It generates the illustrations with consistent characters. But then, and this is the kicker, it doesn't stop at the images. They have an Amazon KDP paperback book creator.
Wait, so it handles the formatting too?
Margins, bleed, DPI, the whole technical headache that makes self-publishing a nightmare. It formats the book to be print-ready for Amazon. And they even added a talking storybook creator to add voice narration and a multilingual creator to translate it. It's a business in a box for children's book authors.
That is, well, it's democratizing, but it's also terrifying if you're a traditional publisher. It means a single parent with a good idea can produce a professional-grade book, formatted, illustrated, and narrated in an afternoon.
And they can even spin it off. They have a photo-to-coloring page creator. So you take those illustrations, turn them into black and white outlines, and boom, now you have a coloring book to sell alongside the storybook. They are squeezing every drop of value out of the intellectual property.
It's efficiency at a level we haven't really seen, but I want to pivot to the commercial side, the boring business stuff. E-commerce. If I'm selling products, does this help me? Or is it just for fantasy art?
Oh, it's heavily weighted toward e-commerce. They have a virtual model creator. Let's say you sell custom t-shirts or jewelry. You don't need to hire a model, rent a studio, and pay a photographer. You upload your design, and the AI places it on a realistic human model. It adjusts the lighting, the fabric wrinkles, everything,
That saves thousands of dollars on a photo shoot.
easily. And if you have a product photo that's just okay, maybe the lighting is bad, or the background is messy, they have an instant scene background editor. You take your product shot on your kitchen counter, and the AI transports it to a luxury marble table in a penthouse or a sunny beach. It handles the reflections and shadows automatically.
It's blurring the line between reality and fabrication. Which brings me to a feature I saw that felt a bit Black Mirror, the train AI with your face feature.
Yes, the custom face switcher. This is powerful, but yes, it feels a bit uncanny. You upload a photo of yourself, and you can insert yourself into any scene. You want a professional LinkedIn headshot? Done. You want to be a superhero? Done. You want to be a model wearing your own brand's clothes? Done.
It's the ultimate vanity tool, but also the ultimate branding tool. You are the face of your brand, quite literally, without ever stepping in front of a camera.
And it goes beyond just static images. They have AI human inpainting. Let's say you generate a perfect image of a model, but you don't like the sunglasses. You just highlight them and type, remove sunglasses, or change to reading glasses. You can change hairstyles, clothing colors, add beards. It's like having Photoshop, but you don't need to know how to use layers or masking. You just talk to the image.
That's the key, isn't it? The barrier to entry. No experience needed is plastered all over their material. It's shifting the skill set from technical manipulation to creative direction.
Precisely. The skill isn't, can I draw this hand? Or can I mask this hair properly? The skill is, can I imagine a compelling scene? And can I describe it clearly? It empowers the idea person.
But let's play devil's advocate here. If everyone has these tools, if everyone can generate perfect logos, perfect product shots, perfect storybooks, does it devalue the work? If I can make a masterpiece in 3 clicks, is it still a masterpiece?
That is the philosophical question of our time. When technical perfection becomes a commodity, what becomes valuable? I think the answer lies in the idea and the curation. Artistly gives you the tools, but it doesn't give you the vision. A boring story with beautiful, consistent AI art is still a boring story.
So the human element becomes the editor, the director.
Exactly. And Artistly seems to recognize that by giving you so much control. It's not a slot machine where you pull the lever and hope for the best. With the canvas-style image editor and the specific in-painting tools, they are expecting you to refine the work. They are giving you control back, not just automation.
Speaking of control, we have to talk about the sheer variety of styles. I saw a list that was dizzying. Pixel art, 3D Pixar, Van Gogh, clay animation. It feels like they are trying to kill the concept of a niche.
They are aggregating everything. They even have a seamless pattern generator. Think about that for a second. That's for fabric designers, wallpaper creators, packaging design. That's a completely different industry than storybooks or logos. But it's all in the same dashboard.
And again, for a one-time price. It feels like they are trying to be the Adobe killer for the prosumer market.
I think Adobe killer might be too strong, but certainly a subscription killer. If you look at their Artistly Elite features, like the face switcher and the inpainting, those are premium capabilities that usually cost a fortune in compute power. The fact that they are bundling this into a lifetime deal suggests they are very confident in their infrastructure.
Or they are desperate to grab market share before the big guys consolidate everything.
That's a valid point. It's a land grab. But for the user, does the motivation matter if the tool works? If I can get unlimited AI image upscaling, which they offer, by the way, 3x resolution, and I don't have to pay per credit, I'm winning.
True. The credit anxiety is real with other tools. You're afraid to experiment because every mistake costs you 10 cents. If Artistly removes that fear, you might actually be more creative because you can afford to fail 50 times to get the perfect shot.
That's a profound insight. Creativity requires a safety net. You need to be able to make bad art to eventually make good art. Unlimited access allows for unlimited iteration. And with tools like the script to Storybook, you can iterate on entire concepts, not just single images.
I want to circle back to the pet portraits thing for a second. It sounds silly, but I think it speaks to the range of this tool.
It's not silly at all. It's a huge market. People love their pets. Being able to turn a photo of your dog into a Renaissance oil painting or a modern pop art piece is a massive gift industry. And Artistly lets you upscale it to print on a canvas. Again, it's connecting the digital creation to a physical product.
So, if we zoom out, B, we have a tool that handles text, consistent characters, product photography, human editing, and even publishing formats. And it's doing it without a subscription. What is the catch? Is there a learning curve?
Well, they claim no experience needed and a simple 3-step process. Enter keyword, customize settings, generate. But let's be real, getting great results from AI always takes a bit of prompt engineering. However, Artistly seems to have built-in helpers. The AI Text Mojo and Style Replicator do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. You don't have to be a code wizard.
It seems like they are targeting the solopreneur, the person who wears every hat, the marketing director, the content creator, the product designer, and the publisher.
Absolutely. It's leverage. Archimedes said, "Give me a lever long enough and I shall move the world." Artistly is trying to be that lever for the digital creator. It creates an asymmetry where one person can output the work of a 10-person agency.
Which brings us to the future. If tools like Artistly become the standard, what does the creative landscape look like in 2 years?
I think we see an explosion of niche content, hyper-specific storybooks for very specific audiences, micro brands launching with world-class visuals. The gatekeepers of quality, the expensive software, the technical skills are gone. The floodgates are open.
And the noise, there's going to be a lot of noise.
An ocean of noise. But the cream will still rise. The difference is the people rising won't necessarily be the ones who could afford art school or expensive software subscriptions. They'll be the ones with the best stories and the most creative vision.
And maybe that's the most exciting part. It's not about the machine replacing the artist. It's about the machine removing the toll booth on the road to expression.
Beautifully put. And practically speaking, with deals like their Holiday 15 or the Secret 10 codes floating around, the barrier to entry is lower than the cost of a nice dinner. It's hard to argue against the value proposition.
It really is. It's a fascinating time to be a creator. We're moving from how do I do this to what should I do? And that is a much more interesting problem to solve.
It is. The how is solved. The what is up to you.
Well, on that note, I think I have some storybook ideas I need to go sketch out. Or rather, have Artistly sketch out for me.
Go for it. I'll be waiting for the signed copy.
You got it. Thanks for breaking this down with me, B.
Anytime. Keep creating.
And to everyone listening, check your subscriptions. It might be time to cut the cord and own your tools again. Until next time.